Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. I wanted to show you this quick little concept when playing jazz soloing using this resource called the Jazz Deck. So here's what I'm talking about. It's a way of superimposing chords over other chords to get incredible sound. So I'm going to play a little bit of a track here for you, and I'm going to use some of these sounds in it, and then we're going to talk about what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get that track going. Interesting sounds we can do using this concept. So let's talk about what's going on here. Okay, the resource, it's a fun little resource called the Jazz Deck. It's put out by a great musician out in California, Brian Switzer, a great trumpet player. He developed this little system, and I was kind of getting familiar with it about a year or so ago, and then I've recently kind of dove into it a little bit more, and it's a deck of cards that I just kind of spilled out here, but this will be good actually. It's a deck of playing card sized resources, and what it does is it tells you over a particular chord. Here's a C major seventh, and what it tells you is what notes are going to sound good over a C major seventh. Now, you flip the card over, and it tells you what notes are in the C major seventh, C, E, G, B. Everybody kind of knows that, what notes are in it. But to take it to the next level, he throws in a substitution and gives you the actual notes of the substitution. G, B, D, F sharp. In this particular instance, over a major seventh chord, he is forming another major seventh chord built off of the fifth step of the original chord. So in C, if you're looking at a C major seventh, he's building you can solo off of a major seventh built off of the fifth step, which it's a C, E, G, G major seventh, G, B, D, F sharp. So over a C major seventh tonality, he is saying that you could solo over a G major seventh arpeggio. And it's just an interesting sound and a concept that you could take one chord and superimpose it over the other. It's nothing new, really. We've talked about it multiple times, but this is kind of taking it to a very concrete next level. So he's got little patterns for the major seventh, C major seventh, and then he'll take something. Oh, let's see if we can find. If I can pull it out here. Let's say I wanted to do maybe a 2-5-1 in C. So I would be looking for maybe a D minor seventh. Pull out this D minor seventh, and he's saying on the back the notes in a D minor seventh are a D, F, A, and a C, but I can superimpose over those the notes of another chord on top of those, which is an A, C, E, G, which is a minor chord, again built off of the fifth step of the chord that we started with. So over a D minor seventh, he is saying I can solo over an A minor, I can use solo over a D minor seventh using an A minor seventh arpeggio, which is a very interesting concept. And what I like about it is it's, plain right here. So if I have a 2-5-1 progression, let's say in the key of C, we're going to put an example up on the screen here of what this looks like. So we're going to look at the chords first. So it's a D minor 7th, a G 7th, and then a C major 7th. I could, if I had all the chords, the little cards here, it would be a D minor 7th to a G 7th to a C major 7th. So if we just looked at the little cards, which we're going to show that on the screen, you'll see the D minor 7th to the G 7th to the C major 7th, a common 2-5-1 in the key of C. Nothing unusual about it, the most basic of jazz chord progressions. But let's flip those cards over and go to the second side of that second example, and now that looks at the back of these cards, and what does it say there? It says what's on the back of a D minor 7th. I can substitute an A, C, E, G for it. On the back of the G 7th, over that G 7th, oh my goodness, what is he doing? Some sort of a weird thing there. He is saying that I can go to an A flat minor major 9th. Oh my goodness, that's pretty complicated. So over a G 7th, he's saying, over this chord, in jazz, I can solo using an A flat minor triad, but with a major 7th and a 9th. Over a G 7th chord. So over the D minor 7th, I'm playing A, C, E, G, which are, over a D minor 7th, they are the A would be the 5th, the C would be the, what would that be, the flatted 7th? The E over a D minor 7th chord would be the 9th, the G would be the 11th. So it's giving you all of the color tones of a D minor 7th. So instead of just playing just the plain chord tones, which are great and all, it's giving you all of the color tones, all of the notes that really sound great over a D minor 7th. Over the G 7th, he's saying the little trick that you can use there is to go a half step above the G, play an A flat minor triad with a major 7th. So you play an A flat, C flat, E flat, G, B flat, A flat major minor 9th, minor major 9th. And he's saying you can use that over a G 7th. Well, what notes are those? That would be the flatted 9th. The A flat would be the flatted 9th. The C flat would be the same as the B, the 7th, or excuse me, the 3rd in the key of B, or key of G. The E flat would be the augmented 5th over a G 7th. The G would be the root. That makes sense. And he's also saying you can add the B flat, which would be the sharp 9. So it's all of the funky colored tones, altered tones, over a G 7th. Interesting way of looking at it. Over the C major 7th, he's saying that you could play the C major notes, but you can also play the G major 7th arpeggio. So a G over a C major 7th would be the 5th. Then we have a B, which would be the major 7th. The D, which would be the major 9th. The F sharp, what would that be over a C major 7th? And F sharp would be kind of a flatted 5th sort of a sound. So we got, that's a little out there. That's a little jazzy. It works, but you got to use it sparingly. You got to use it smart. So we're going to leave this example on the screen here. And I'm going to play this track again, and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing. And you can hear the difference in the way to do it. What I like about this little system, harmonically, he's throwing some interesting things at you, but what I like about it is you can just, if you've got a progression, you just flip over the card and it'll tell you exactly what notes are the right notes to use. So here we go. We're going to put that track on. The track is just a 2-5-1, D minor, G7, C major 7th. And we're going to leave this example on the screen, and I'll tell you what I'm playing. So over the D minor 7th, I'm going to be playing this A, C, E, G, an A minor 7th. Over the G 7th, I'm going to be playing this A flat minor major 9th, sort of a tonality. And over the C major 7th, I'm going to be playing a G major 7th arpeggio. So I'm just going to play the arpeggios first, and then we'll talk about how to go in and out of these. Okay, so here we go. Let's play it with the track. Here's the D minor 7th. So that worked over the D minor 7th. So now let's kind of focus in. Well, let's do that one more time, and then this time I'll go to the G7th as well. G7. Ooh, did you hear that? All the funky chords in the G7. Let's try it again. G, E, E flat, G, E flat. A, C, E, G, A flat, C flat, E flat, G, G, B, D, F sharp. Do you hear how that F sharp's a little bit out there? E, C, A, E flat, C flat, A flat, G, B, D. Okay, so we're just going to keep the track running. What I like about this is it's visual. It sounds complicated. One of the comments in the chat here, John is saying that it sounds complicated. It does sound complicated. That's why it's nice to have it written out. Keep that track going. It's nice to have it written out. So I can just look and see what notes I'm supposed to play. I don't have to think about all this sort of stuff. That'll come in time. Right now I can just see it. So I can just pick one of those notes. Over the D minor 7th, I'm going to pick, let's say, the C. I'm going to try and go to the nearest chord tone after that, which would be maybe a C flat for the next chord. And then I could maybe stay there for the C major 7th. So here we go. C, C, C flat. I just stayed on that beat. Let's do it again. C, C, C. Let's go to the E flat. Get resolved down to the D. Let's pick another note. A flat to the G. You see how I'm taking one note and then going to its next neighbor and down. A flat. G. Let's try two notes, a C and an E. C, E, C, E, C flat, E flat, C flat, E flat, B, D. You see how that all worked, but yet it's not an idea that I would normally think about. But it creates some interesting little ideas. All right, so we're going to pause that track just for a second. It gives you some interesting ideas, okay? Normally, I would look at a D minor 7th, and I would just go D minor 7th arpeggio. Or maybe a C major scale, I might think about that. All really valid ways of analyzing that. Here's just another tool to throw into your bag of tricks. And what I like about it is it's visual. You can physically see what notes are shifting between these various chords. Not that you're always only playing that, it's just another tool that you could use to add to your repertoire. So harmonically, the tricks that he's doing is over a minor chord, you go up to the 5th of that chord and play a minor 7th. That's where we got the A minor 7th over our D minor 7th chord. We're playing an A minor 7th, the notes of an A minor 7th, which over a D minor 7th create all the wonderful color tones. Over the G7th, over the 7th, the dominant 7th, he goes a half step up, plays this weird combination of chords, a half step up minor triad with a major 7th and the 9th. Oh my goodness, it's so many notes to keep up with. I can't keep up with it all. But it's written out, so I can look at it and go, oh, okay, there it is. Those are the notes I need to play. And by golly, it works. Over the C major 7th, he's going a 5th up, and he's playing the major 7th arpeggio. In this case would be a G major 7th arpeggio. So I know it sounds a little bit confusing. Let's go back, and we're going to add one more. Let's take a second example here, and we're going to add one more chord to our little progression. Okay? Add one more chord to our progression. So now our progression, in this second example, we have a D minor 7th, a G 7th, a C 7th, and then, or C major 7th, and then it gives us a new chord, an A 7th, which is the 5 of the D minor 7th. Don't get lost in the theory. Kind of understand the theory that's going on there, but don't get lost in it and frustrated by the theory. Just understand it's written out. I don't have to think. So over that A 7th, oh my goodness, I wouldn't know what to play. But handy, now I've got a handy dandy card, if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find it. A7. So over an A7th, he's telling me that I can play a half step up from the A, the B flat, a minor triad with a major 7th and the 9th, the B flat major minor 9th. Okay? And that's the note I can play over the A7th. Let's see if this works. Okay? So we're going to try and see if this works. So there are the chords. I've shown you the chords. Now let's flip over that example and let's take a look at the notes that are involved with this. And we're going to put on this track, which is a different feel. I think it's kind of a Latin feel, if I remember right. And this is our second example. Kind of a Latin feel. And let's hear how these chords, how these chords are sounding. So I'll just play the basic arpeggios first, and we'll show you what's going on. It's a D minor 7th to a G 7th to a C major 7th to then this A 7th, which is going to get us back to this D minor 7th. So if we have that second track, let's go ahead and get that going. Okay, so there's the C major 7th. There's the A7, back to D minor 7th. There's the G 7th. Then it stays on the C major 7th for about 6 beats. Then it goes the A7, a quick A7, back to the D minor. G7, C major 7. Now the A7. So do you see what's happening there? There's the D minor 7th, G 7th, C major 7th. So if I played the arpeggios, this is C major 7th arpeggio, A 7th arpeggio. So that works. So I'm playing the exact arpeggios now. Which that's fun and all, but now I'm going to switch to his superimposed arpeggios. you hear how it just kind of switches it a little bit? All I'm thinking, so let's just pause that track for a second. All I'm thinking is I'm just playing exactly the arpeggios that are written out there. I'm not saying this is the only way to do jazz. I'm not saying this is just another tool in your tool belt of how to approach chords. The basic idea is he's superimposing other chords over these, but what I like about this little system is it's all written out. You don't have to think about it. What is the fifth of this, and what did Steve say about the minors? It's all written out there on the card. That's what I like about it. It's just kind of easy, so you don't have to think about it. It's just written out there, and you can see when you kind of look at it, and you see the chord progression going by, you can kind of see how certain notes would go to some other notes. So like over the D minor 7th, let's say I'm on let's say an E. I want to hang around on that E note. Over the next chord, where could that E resolve to? Well, it can resolve to its next closest neighbor, which would be an E flat, which is the E flat in the substituted chord over the G 7th. Where would that E flat want to resolve to? It wouldn't want to go to its next closest neighbor in the following chord, which would be a D. So do you see how I can weave a little line through these notes and make something that's more connected? That's what we're going for. So when we're trying to solo, I don't want you playing just random arpeggios. That doesn't make for a good solo. But we're taking these notes and we're now connecting certain notes in between them to make a melodic line that's coming out of it. So it's just an interesting way of viewing these chords. Let's look at one third example, and then we'll answer some questions here. So let's go to a different key. Let's go to a minor key. So what do we have in our minor example here? I've got an A minor. See if I've got these chords pulled up. I got an A minor 7th. This is going to start off this particular minor progression. This is our last example. Remember, basic concept, over an A minor 7th, I go to its 5th, and so I'm going to be thinking an E minor 7th arpeggio over this A minor 7th chord, which gives me all of its wonderful color tones. So that's the first chord. The next chord, what do we have, is an F major 7th. F major 7th. Okay, what notes are the good notes to play in an F major 7th? It has them written right here. C, E, G, and then a B, perhaps, if I use it sparingly. Okay, so it tells me what notes to play there for over the F major 7th. Over the D minor 7th, which I think I've already used. Yeah, here's the D minor 7th. Over the D minor 7th, it tells me what notes to use there. I go up to the 5th of the D minor 7th, play a minor 7th arpeggio, A, C, E, G, an A minor arpeggio, and that's what I would play over the D minor 7th. Next chord we come across is a B minor 7 flat 5. We haven't hit one of these yet before. What can I solo over a B minor 7 flat 5? Well, lots of different approaches you could use to it. I could use a B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. I could use a C major 7th, like a Locrian scale. You can think of it modally, all kinds of craziness. In this situation, he is telling me over a B minor 7 flat 5, I can play an F major 7th arpeggio. Okay, well that's a wild thought to think. Okay, but think about it. And the notes in a B minor 7 flat 5 are a B, D, F, and an A. F, A, F, A. That sounds like an F major triad, F, A, C. So if I play an F major 7th over that B minor 7 flat 5, it works gloriously. I'm not then having to think about minor 7 flat 5s. I'm just thinking F major 7th, baby. And what if I don't know the notes? That's why they're written out. So it's just a beautiful, elegant way of doing it. The last chord is an E 7th, and he's doing his little go a half step up, little trick of going a half step above the E to the F, making a minor arpeggio with a major 7th and the 9th. So an F major minor 9th. That's probably the most complicated chord substitution of them all. Is this the only way that there is to solo? No. Is this the only chord substitution trick you can do? No. There's a gazillion of these, and different guys have different ones. Over this chord, you play the flatted 5th of this, and you don't think you know, over an A minor seventh, you don't, I think, a C major seventh or an E minor seventh. They're all part of it. And you're just adding, this is just a uniquely functional way of looking at these chords and keys. So with that on the screen, let's go ahead and put that track on, and let's hear what this sounds like. Okay, so this is an A, starts out with an A minor seventh track. So let's go ahead and get that going. There's the F major seventh. Here's the D minor seventh. Here's the B minor 7 flat 5. Here's the E 7th. So if you want to think, these is 4 beats. Each one is a bar. F major 7th is a bar. 2, 3. Here's the D minor 7th. Then these are just 2 beats each. The B minor 7 flat 5, B minor, E. Okay. I'm just playing the pure chords. So now I'm going to play his little substitution. So go ahead and leave that, we're going to leave that up on the screen so you can kind of follow along with me. Oh, it just picks the right notes. Okay, it's just some interesting sounds, a different way to look at that. Okay, there you go. That's a little bit about the Jazz Deck way of looking at these chords. So if that's of interest to you, check it out. It's a cheap resource, it's inexpensive, and it's a great visual little way of analyzing chords and how they work on guitar. So we're going to talk next time. I'm going to try and do 2 weeks on this. We're going to talk next time about how to connect these lines together using these different chord soloing concepts that the Jazz Deck talks about. So we'll talk about that more next time. In the meantime, if you like the content that we provide, please take a second to subscribe to our channel. It's always a blessing being able to help you guys out with this. If we can help you out with anything, please let us know. All the resources are in the YouTube links in the description. Hey, we will try and catch you later. We'll see you.